Alrighty, everybody, welcome to another episode of I Never Met a Stranger I Didn't Like. My name is Phil Tubbs, and I have an awesome guest with me here, Miss Claremore herself, Leah Hughes. Hi, Leah. How are you?
I'm good.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming out here and being on with me. So, when was the pageant? It was back in November?
It was back in October. Yes.
Of last year. And so, you kind of been running it a little bit for a few months, huh?
I've had this title for a little while now, and getting ready for Miss Oklahoma. So,
Ooh, Miss Oklahoma going on.
Yes.
So, let's kind of get know a little bit about you. You're a senior in high school, right?
Yes, correct.
So, how long have you been doing pageants?
I've been doing pageants since I was about 6.
About 6 years old.
Yes, and I used to be the shyest person ever. You know, I would hide behind my mom's leg, and but pageants really brought me out of my shell, and they forced me to, you know, get to know new people and talk to people I never met before, and they really taught me just how to talk to people.
Yeah, got to build that confidence a little bit. Yeah, you know, it's. You kind of get to a certain point in your age, like when you're a kid, like when you're real little, you're super confident, you're not afraid of anything. And then you get to like 4 or 5 and the fear starts to kick in. So that was kind of a good time to start there. I met you at one of the pageants that my daughter was actually in. You and your mom were judging. Your mom's been great. We've been talking back and forth to get you on the episode. And, you better give her a perfect 10. I'm just saying. No, I'm just kidding. No, but we saw you there and like, oh, this is Miss Claremore. I was like, Miss Claremore, we got to get her on there. Because my daughters have started getting into pageants.
Yes.
And it's a whole new world for me. Yeah. I am like way
You're a pageant dad now.
Yeah, I'm a pageant dad. Do you have any like advice for a pageant dad? Because like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I would just say to listen to your daughter.
Listen to your daughter. All right. That's a lot to ask sometimes.
It is.
No, but they love it. And so, you know, it is long days. Sometimes it's not just one day. It's a weekend or weeks because you get up there wherever it's at. And I mean, just watching my wife, because I'm not good with the hair and makeup. That's out of my realm. I can put it up in a ponytail and that's about it.
Yes.
But there's a lot of work that goes into that, you know, getting them all dressed up and getting the makeup on them and keeping the makeup and the dress on them and stuff like that. So, it's just a challenge. So, what kind of things have you guys learned? Like you've learned from pageantry and things like that, like besides like building the confidence and stuff like that, is there other things that you've kind of learned from there?
For sure. I have learned that you can be put in any situation and you just have to learn how to think on your feet. And that's the job of Miss Claremore, Miss Oklahoma, and any other local title holders. They have to be able to think on their feet because they never know what's going to happen. And pageants have really prepared me for all different types of situations.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yes.
Because really, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Something could break, dress not work right, zipper break, anything could happen. So you got to kind of think on your toes. So it kind of gets you a little bit of kind of thinking on your toes. I love it. So you're a senior in high school and, are you planning on going to college afterwards?
Yes.
Like where
I will be attending the University of Oklahoma in the fall. And I will be pursuing musical theater.
Oh, cool.
Musical theater isn't something that I've known I wanted to do for a long time. I'd always had the aspects of musical theater. I've always known that I love to sing. I've always known that I love to dance, and I had at least decent acting, right? And so then I guess about this time or a little earlier this time last year, I realized I could pursue musical theater as a career and continue doing it because it's something that I really love. And I know that I always get advice that if you pick a job that you love, you're never going to be working a day in your life. So that's when I realized that I can do it. And so now I'll be pursuing
just go for it. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So Miss Claremore, like, what do you guys do after that? Like, what do you win the title? Is there things that you kind of are like have set up to go do things, meet with kids, go to events, things like that?
So the job of Miss Claremore consists of, getting out in the community and getting to know people. And I think that one thing that I've learned this year is that you have to get to know people in the community, because you want to hear their stories, you want to hear their points of view and their perspectives. And so the really big thing is to find different events to go to, just so that you can hear those stories.
So you can kind of get out there and get with those people and talk to them. You guys have an event coming up here actually at 320 on Main. That's where we're at right now.
Yes.
You guys have something coming up. What do you guys got coming up here?
We're going to be doing a tea party for girls of different ages. And I just think that it would be a great time for me to talk about what I've learned from pageants, because, at their age is when I started getting into pageants, and talking about all my different experiences and hearing their stories, their lovely and crazy stories, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
And just inspiring them and realizing that they can do it if they want to, and hear their different dreams and the things that they really want to do with their lives.
That's awesome. So that's going to come up on May 4th, right?
Yes,
so May 4th over here at 320 on Main. We'll have all that stuff in the comments there where people can go in and they can get on for that event and come on out here and check it out. That'll be a lot of fun. And then you're going to be coming back later on the summer to be a guest speaker over here again, right?
Yes.
So that'll be fun too. So, like, what kind of inspired you to get into pageantry and getting into the pageants and doing that stuff? Was it something that, like, I know you're 6 and things like that, but like mom influence it and kind of things like that?
Yes. So when I first started getting into pageants, my mom put them in for me. And so, but then I started to really like them because, I met friends every time I went. I met a new person. And so it encouraged me to keep going and keep doing it to where I am today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Claremore going for Miss Oklahoma.
Huh?
What's up? Mom's back here telling you something. Well, our headphones are on, can't hear.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Your CSI.
Yeah. We have one thing that we have for Miss Oklahoma when we're competing, we have a social impact. And so we pick any topic of our choice that we're passionate about. Oh, cool. And so mine is volunteering and helping people find their passions with volunteering, because there are so many times when we get in school and we're forced to do it, or we have a job and we're forced to do it. And so I think that it's important that we combine our passions with volunteering.
Yeah, definitely.
And so for me, when I first started, I did a fashion show because I was so passionate about fashion design. Yeah. And so I combined fashion with helping people in my community. And so all the proceeds would go to different organizations and like Citizens Caring for Children, Cut It Forward. And it was a way for me to have fun while also helping people. Yeah,
definitely. That's kind of like what I've done here with this podcast. It's kind of like we don't charge for any of the businesses or anybody to be on this. It's just for us it's me to have fun. I get to get out and talk to people. And we kind of get to push out their businesses, push out the great people that are kind of making it shine here. Yeah. So I definitely get that. Because once you find something like volunteering, it could be work. If you're like, oh man, I got to go do this, I got to go do that. But if you really like it and you enjoy it, it's really not, it's fun. It's not a hassle. I have a job and all that stuff, and this doesn't interfere with it because I enjoy doing it. It's fun. It's, I get to hear stories and learn things, And so, I definitely get that. That's awesome because that is very important that, finding what you love and doing it. Awesome. So, what are some things that you like to do outside of pageants?
Ooh.
Like
I said, I'm pursuing musical theater. So I do musicals through my school. We just did Frozen and I was Elsa. So that was a lot of fun. That's probably been my favorite role that I've played. But also I dance and I sing And that takes up a lot of
time. You're like, that's kind of what I do. So pageants, dance, sing, and I mean, you're a senior in high school, you're about to graduate. So there's a lot going on.
Yes.
I mean, it's not only, with the pageants and being Miss Claremore and having to, get out in the community and do all those things and volunteer and whatnot, but you're graduating high school. You've got to get through the finishing last month of it.
Keep going.
I know it's so hard whenever you get to that last month. You're like, man, there's only like 4 weeks
left. Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
Just cut it early. Yeah. No, I was like, I checked out like January my senior year. I was like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. So yeah, I totally get. So that's dancing and singing. So it's probably safe to say like your little talent is probably singing and dancing.
Yes.
Yeah. That's probably a safe bet on that one. So, when it comes to pageants and stuff, what are some of the challenges that you guys have had, and seen and kind of had to overcome with that? Because I know, like I said, we kind of talked about, got to think on your feet and things like that, but, it's not all zippers breaking and hair not going where it wants to go, that kind of stuff. There's other things that, that come along. What kind of other like hardships or, struggles that kind of come along with that?
Yeah. I just spent the weekend with all of my Miss Oklahoma sisters. So we were kind of talking about all of the different things that we have to go through. And our current Miss Oklahoma was talking about how, we have good days and we have bad days, but when you wake up in the morning and you realize the impact that you're making on different people's lives is what makes it all worth it. And so whenever I have those bad days and, I feel like I can't stay motivated, I just have to remind myself of the impacts that I'm making in other people's lives and the benefit that it has for me as well.
So, that kind of helps you get pushed through that struggle and kind of do that. But, growing up and stuff, I'm sure it took up a lot of your time. You guys were, mom and dad would have to go with you into these pageants, and they're not always close to you. No. They, some of them are further away and things like that. So it takes some time. So, you still get to be a kid with because I'm watching my girls. They run around. They said they find these new friends. And they're automatically just best friends, and they're just playing around, and but that can, but your friends at home, things like that, that can be kind of hard not being able to go do those things and stuff like that. But like you said, waking up and realizing what you're doing, because I'll tell you, you got an impact on my kids. My girls were loving it. They, you were like the Queen of England. They're like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. And I'll do this because in post production, I can put the picture up here. But I got the picture of you and the girls at the pageant there, and they love it. They're like, oh my gosh. And when I told them I was coming over here, they were like, oh my gosh. And so we're definitely going to be at the tea party. Like we're going to be here because that's my youngest is just a princess. That's how she is. She is straight up girl. Now my middle one, she's the one that wants to put the dress on and get up there and start dancing and shaking her butt. And she's like, I don't want to walk to there, to there, to there. Do I really have to keep spinning around? Like, I just want to dance. I just want to I want to get up here and just be a goober, So we got the two opposite ends on that side. But yeah, my youngest, like she just wants to keep doing pageants. She's like, I want to do another one. I want to do another one. So we're like, okay. So we'll keep on getting them signed up. So she'll have so much fun. I'm sure she'll be all dressed up and come in here. And she's got, we've got like 4 or 5 crowns now. And then like all this, and she makes me put them on and mom put them on and, walk around with them. We're all like having crowns walking around the house like we're doing pageants at home.
When
like
she's 18, you're gonna have a whole shrine of crowns and
medals and crowns and sashes. Yeah, we were already started, and she's only 4, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like where are we gonna put all of these things? Like, how do you keep up with all those? Do you guys do you have like your own room for these things, or what?
The past few years, they've moved around in our house, and so at first they were in an upstairs room, and then they were in a downstairs room, and now they're where our piano used to be. So it honestly just changes like every 5 years.
It just keeps growing. So you got to find a bigger spot for it and move it around. Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do. I'm like, we sit there and I'm like, where are we? Like, how are you? We're gonna run out of wall space and all this other things. Like, where are we gonna do with these things? So we're gonna have to figure something out. We're gonna, because she wants to keep doing it. Like I said, you've taken out the piano and just replaced it with a bunch of medals and crowns that you've won. So yeah, we're really gonna have to figure that one out. Oof, man. Oh, she's gonna have to. She's probably just gonna take my office over.
Yeah,
and
probably.
Just be all. It'll be like a shrine to her. She'll be like, "This is my pageant room, and this is where all my stuff's at."
Yes.
So, that being said, like, what would you like say to some of the younger girls that are coming up that are wanting to be in pageants or are in pageants that they're still younger and they're coming up? What kind of advice do you have for them?
I would say to focus on the positives of pageants. And I know that there's so many like stereotypes that comes with pageants as well. So but the people that do the pageants, they're the ones that realize how much of an impact you're making on people's lives, how much of an impact you're making on your life, and the positives that come from it. So I would just tell them to, preach that and basically tell anyone who thinks that pageants are bad or negative, the positives that come from it as well. But also I would tell them to just have fun with pageants because sometimes you can get so in your head about it, but you have to be able to just have a good time and tell your stories and get to know new people.
Just have fun with it. Like I said, just make it your own, because if you're not gonna have fun, then if it's gonna be stressful, it's just gonna be
not worth it.
A job.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's no good.
Yeah.
Because I'll say that like with my middle one, she's autistic, and so she really doesn't like the directions and doing that kind of stuff. And so but with Bowie, she really is like, I want to I want to do this. Like I want to be, in pageants. I'm going to be famous one day. She's like, I'm going to do this. And she's only 4.
Yeah, exactly.
And she, the mom pulling back her hair and, getting it nice and tight, all the hairspray, all that stuff. She loves it. It's like, it could be, bad and be like, oh, that hurts, this and that. Because when I brush her hair, she just, oh gosh, that hurts down. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Mom gets in there, she's tugging on it, pulling it back. And she's just like, oh yeah, this is funny. Yeah. So that's, hopefully that's something we can keep with her, is keep that positive mindset, because that's really what will keep her rolling and keep going, having fun. Yeah, that's awesome. So we talked about the responsibilities of being Miss Claremore and things like that, but you're going for Miss Oklahoma and stuff like that. So how like you're just doubling, how do you work that out? And just you're going here and there and doing all that. So you're just kind of staying busy. You're running around. So you're doing your things here in Claremore, and then what is Miss Oklahoma in Oklahoma City?
It's in Tulsa.
So you kind of hang out with all the girls and just kind of do your pre.
Yes, we had our spring meeting this weekend, and we showcased all of our talents, and we talked about what Miss Oklahoma Week will look like, and we got our placement. So it was fun, and it makes you more motivated and excited for the actual thing.
So you kind of, before it all happens, you guys all get together and you kind of do your talents, and you get to see the other girls, what they're doing and things like that. So it's do you get to change it up a little bit afterwards, or you have to keep it like that?
You got to keep it.
So there's no like, well, man, she did this, and you got to keep it going, huh? So you just got to work on it, make it. So you're like, well, dang, she did really good. You got to go home and go, okay, I got to make this even better than what she did. So it gives you a little bit of an edge on there, huh? You're like, I'm my competitive is coming out. I'm gonna do that. What is Miss Oklahoma?
So Miss Oklahoma is an organization for women who they throughout the year they spend their time getting local titles, and this year we have about 42 titles, I think. So it's women from all over Oklahoma, and each one has a social impact, like I was talking about, and that's what makes the organization so amazing, is that we have all these different things that we're passionate about. Some people are passionate about foster care, some people are passionate about volunteering, some are passionate about diversity. There's a wide range, and so the Miss Oklahoma, we were talking about this, how it's more of a personality. It's not so much of a title, it's more of a personality. And we all can be Miss Oklahoma because we all have the characteristics to be Miss Oklahoma. But at the end of the day, there's only one title and one crown that's going to be handed out, but we can all continue our work that we're doing to make an impact.
Most definitely. Like you said, they're all up to Miss America?
Yes, it leads up to Miss America. So once you have to win a local title first, and then once you win a local title, you'll go to Miss Oklahoma, and then once you win a Miss Oklahoma, then you go to Miss America.
So then, if you win Miss Oklahoma, you get to go to Miss America.
Yes,
that's huge.
Yes,
I mean it's on TV. It's huge. Just as massive. Like. I can even, have you gone and watched Miss America before?
Yeah, I was hoping to this year, but of course had conflicts.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're
staying busy.
Yeah, you're staying busy. You got to, yeah, and the money. Yeah, it's about the sponsorships and stuff like that.
There's it's a scholarship competition.
So. Okay, so that it's a scholarship. So that's what.
So
see, I'm out of this. I don't know all the rules and things. That's why I'm asking. I don't know any of this.
Oklahoma, I think, almost gives out the most scholarships. They've been amazing at it this year. Miss Oklahoma will actually win, I believe they said $30,000. Yeah, $30,000. But there are also other things that you can enter in. You can get Rookie Talent Award, and you can win an amount of money. And then there's just so many opportunities that you have to win scholarships.
Yeah.
And that's what's amazing about the Miss Oklahoma organization specifically. Yeah.
Well, shoot, maybe I should keep my daughter in there, because then that's one. I got 3 kids. 3 kids to pay for college. That's going to be expensive.
There's so many people that go into college debt free and come out of college debt free. So I think that it's amazing.
And, as we're talking about college, and, that there's kind of a misconception that sometimes that girls are in pageants really aren't smart. They're, they may be ditzy or this or that, but really, I mean, not the case.
No, not the case at all. I think that pageant girls are some of the smartest
They're probably
people.
Smarter than
some of the smartest people you will meet, because we're the people that can go into a job interview and at the end of the day, when I think I went into a job interview when I was 15 or 16, and I wouldn't have been able to do that without pageants. So there are a lot of positives.
There's a lot of positives that come with it. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to remember that one. Tell my wife, like, hey, that's one less college I might have to pay for. I might have to be like, hey, are you sure, Prue, you don't want to do any more pageants? Because you might want to.
Exactly.
Because I know, like I said, my daughter, Bowie, she is Miss Priss. That's her, but she is so smart.
Yeah.
And just very curious and just asking questions and just wants to know the world, and she's only 4. And so, I could see that only benefiting her and growing with her and being that more confident and going and doing those, because I mean, we're in a day and age now where confidence can be knocked out real quick. Yes. We've got social medias, all schools, people leave cell phones. Back whenever I was a kid, when I was in high school, I had just gotten a cell phone. Yeah. Like, we didn't have a cell phone for years. So we didn't have all those impacts on that. So having that core group, that building that confidence and, like you said, building those friendships and having those backups with you is actually very positive.
Yes.
So, and like I said, there are some negatives that come along with it, but that's everything we do. That's life. There's negatives in just driving down the road sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So, with your platform there, doing that, is there, like, you said, fashion and things like that. Are there other things that you're like passionate about when it comes to like using your platform to kind of showcase?
Yeah. Like I said, my platform is about volunteering
and that kind of. Yes. So is that kind of like your main,
so
how do you kind of like when you put your platform up there? Sorry, I'm kind of trying to get the question out how I wanted it. I do that. My brain's thinking. I'm ADHD, so my brain is going like 15 times and like asking the questions in their head until I get to the right one, and then it finally comes out my mouth. But no, like with your platform with the volunteering, how do you? What are you using to like? How are you spotlighting that? What kind of things are you doing to help kind of people figure out what they want to do and things like that? How do you do that?
Well, I go into schools and I talk to kids about what their passions are and what they're passionate about. Sometimes it's I'm passionate in soccer, I'm passionate in my sport, I'm passionate in my family. And there are different organizations out there that that have that combine your passions with volunteering.
Those most specific things.
Exactly. And so for me, I first got into community service when I was in 5th grade, and we took a field trip to Citizens Caring for Children.
Dang, 5th grade, all right.
Exactly. and so that's when I was bagging and tagging clothes and sorting clothes out, and it was for their Christmas drive. And so I had a moment where I realized these are going to be some of the only items some children get for Christmas. But it was what I was doing in that moment that was going to help them and help them have at least a decent Christmas. So that's what first started my love for volunteering. And then, of course, I've gotten into more organizations, and I just love finding organizations where you can really get involved and like see the impact that you're making in someone else's life.
Yeah, definitely. So that's great. I love that. That's, I mean, like you said, you don't think about, when you're talking about your volunteering and fashion, things like, I wasn't thinking, Christmas time coming around, kids getting those clothes and things like that, that's something that wouldn't come to my first thought. So that's awesome that, that's something that you get to be involved with, and, that pageants have been able to help you kind of keep going with that. So what are some, we talked about one misconception about how, people think, they're not the smartest things. What are some other misconceptions that people may have about pageants and things like that go along with pageants?
One thing is, swimsuit competition was a big thing for a long time. And people thought that it promoted, unhealthy lifestyles. But now there is no swimsuit, but there is a health and fitness competition part of the competition. But it's not it. If anything, it helps people become healthier in their life. It helps you create healthy lifestyles. It helps you get into a routine of working out and eating healthy. And so it's not a negative way of your health, but thinking about how it creates a part of your life, really.
Definitely. I'll tell you, like, me, I'm figuring out this health thing. With my ADHD and things like that, there's things that you can do to not eat and to eat and drink and do things like that do help benefit you a lot better. It helps with your brain's, functions and stuff like that. So, getting healthy and, learning how to do it, that's a great thing because we're bombarded with junk food, candy, all this stuff, especially as kids. And so, start them young to learn those things because we don't, occasional candy here and there is it's not bad. You can do that. You can do that. Not bad. But, eating tons of it and doing things like that, or eating fast food, and, kind of getting that healthier lifestyle because there's so many things that are in our food these days that I won't go completely. I won't go. That's another podcast. But everything that goes into those foods and stuff nowadays, a lot of that stuff's not even regulated. They don't even allow it in other countries, and then so the whole foods and taking care of yourself and exercising is a huge thing. I work from home and I work in my office, and I really kind of I didn't do much. I would wake up, go to my office, do my work, and I really started to kind of get almost depressed, anxiety and things like that. But a little bit of exercise really kind of like
can make a difference.
It pops you up. You're like, oh I feel pretty good, and every once in a while you look down and you're like, oh, wait, I didn't see that before. Okay. So it feels good. And it actually does, wake you up. I have rheumatoid arthritis and things like that. So if I don't move, I get super stiff and I hurt. And so, and I was always like, well, I can't exercise because I will, get hurt and I'm going to be hurting things but it actually just beneficial. It actually is the opposite. Kind of helps out things. I'm still not all the way there. I'm slowly getting into it. I'm not at the gym like every morning at 4 a.m. or anything, but but
it's about finding balance because you don't want to be somewhere where you're like guilty you feel guilty for eating something, but you also don't want to get somewhere where you're just sitting around all the time, so it's just about finding the good balance.
So the misconception of that being, like you said, the body imaging and things like that not being healthy, because you can be on the opposite end of it and be not healthy. There's other disorders and things like that people can get from that because they need to have that image of, I've got to be this perfect size. I've got to look like this. I've got to be my hair has to be this color. My eyes have to be, it's just that kind of thing. And so really that misconception is really, it's there for every type of girl. It is there to help them, every, body size, color, whatever it is, it's for all of you guys.
Exactly. Yeah.
So instead, it's not just a beanpole girl that what we're used to see, that kind of idea thing. Because I'll tell you, Bowie is probably not going to get my height. She's going to get her mom's height.
Yeah.
It's the other two, they're beanpoles like me. Yeah. But that may be something that she struggles with and stuff like that. And so I don't ever want her to, that was one of my kind of things when we first started was I don't want her to be kind of ridiculed or made fun of just because she may be, she got some big old cheeks. She's always had. She was born with cheeks. Yeah. They, the doctor said when she was born, like, does she have a neck? Because her cheeks were just so big. And we were like, yes, there's a neck. But she just got some big, it's just the way it is. She got some big old cheeks and they're good. I love them though. They're good for kisses. I can say that because I'm dad.
Yes.
But so, with, being Miss Claremore, how has that kind of influenced your goals and your kind of aspirations for like the future of things?
Yeah. It definitely motivates me to want to be Miss Oklahoma. Because I want to do more. I want to do more. I want to include Claremore and get even outside of Claremore and show people what I'm capable of and the impact that I can make in their lives personally. I might not be able to reach every single life that I come in contact with, but if I can at least make an impact in one person's life whenever I meet them. Yes. Whenever I meet them, that is what makes it worth it. And that's what makes me want to continue doing pageants and do more as well.
I'll tell you, you really did have an impact on my girls when I was so here at Claremore, we have 2 sets of train tracks to go through.
Okay.
So we get stopped by trains. We're used to it. Yes. If you didn't, probably heard it when we first started the podcast, there's a train going by. And that's just the way it is. Yeah. So we're used to getting stopped. So this this little segment here, we're going to stop for a second. It's called the train track crossing. Okay. And we're going to just kind of go through some this or that questions, just some fun ones that kind of get to know you a little bit more too, just to kind of go from there. So, you ready?
Yes.
All right. Here we go. Okay. Coffee or tea?
Neither.
You don't like either?
I'm a picky person.
Okay. What do you, well, then what's your drink of choice?
Water, lemonade. That's about it.
Okay. So you're drinking water and lemonade. Hey, that's a good choice. I'm not going to lie. I drink way too much coffee. That's the thing. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Good choice. Beach or the mountains?
Beach.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Ooh, night owl.
We just say you like pizza or burgers?
Pizza.
Pizza's always, you got to go with the pizza. You can never go wrong with pizza anytime. Books or movies? You can say movies. It won't be bad.
No, I like them together though.
You like them together?
Yes. Like if there's a book and a movie that match up, I feel like you gotta do both. But I like watching movies more.
Yeah, you can admit it. Come on, you're trying to be politically correct. You're like, yeah, I like reading books. All girls should read books. All you girls out there read some book, right? You're thinking about it. Still read your book. She still kind of put it in there. She's like,
yes, it's important.
It's better whenever you read a book and the movies at the time. Yeah, I see what you did there. I can see where you're going. I can tell. Yeah, Android or iPhone?
iPhone,
of course. You're a young one too. So that's how old are you? 17, 18?
I'm 18.
18, okay. Gosh, man, make me feel old. I remember I was 18. Summer or winter?
It changes every year, but this year, I think it's summer.
Summer? You ready for the summer?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought I was until like it's only like 80 something degrees outside. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want this. Yeah, it's not even hot yet. Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Yeah. Fiction or nonfiction?
Nonfiction.
Yeah. Favorite childhood cartoon?
Ooh. Oh gosh. I think I'm gonna have to go with Favorite childhood cartoon? I'm trying to think. What did I watch?
You're not. See, for you. That was not that long ago.
No, I know. I'm like, how can I not think of?
For me, it makes a different choice. Mom, what did she watch when she was a kid? Did she watch cartoons?
She was always ahead of her time.
Ah.
Like I was always, she already knew Disney High School Music.
Yeah. Like
okay, so that you went straight to that.
Yeah.
Kind of
she knew Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
I would want her to watch cartoons, but no, she wanted to watch like the preteen.
So not really cartoons. So no, maybe like when you're little.
Okay, well, it's kind of weird because I did watch like Disney Channel, but then once I got a little older, this is weird, but once I got a little older, I started watching cartoons a little bit more. Like I'll still watch cartoons today. Ladybug and Cat Noir is like probably my favorite.
I know that one because I say I can use an excuse. I have kids, so I'm like, but I mean, you're still younger, so
I have no excuse.
No, I go.
Just entertaining.
I'm like, yeah, I know that too. You're kids.
Yeah.
So that's kind of you're like, I'm down watching cartoons. You kind of going back a little bit. That's okay. That's fun with that. Yeah. Would you say you're an introvert or an extrovert?
I'm a natural introvert.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I still, even though I can carry on a conversation with someone, but I'm a natural introvert.
See, I'm kind of that way too. Like I like to go out and talk to people here and there, but when it's said and done, like I just want to go home and just be home, be with my family and just chill. Like I don't really care. Like I like people. I like going to events and stuff like that, but too many people getting loud, trying to run around with 3 kids.
I got to be in the right mood.
Yeah.
Got to be in the right mood.
Exactly. You just got to feel it right. Yeah. Comedy or drama? Oh, I know that's a hard one.
Yeah, that's a hard one for me.
It's kind of dependent on my emotions.
Yeah. I think most of the time it's comedy though.
Yeah, because comedy can, even if you are feeling bad, you can watch a comedy.
You can watch a comedy and feel better.
Yeah. Yeah. What is your favorite superhero?
Superhero, Ladybug and Cat Noir.
Love it. There you go.
My mom was like, "What is that show?" She's never seen me watch it.
So,
It's a superhero.
yes, it does.
She's
You haven't seen it yet. They saved the world.
My Bowie has the whole red lady, the whole costume, and she wears it around.
I'm gonna have to dress as that for Halloween this year.
Yeah, she has that. So yeah, city life or the countryside?
City life. Yeah.
You could be honest with this next one. Music or podcasts?
I think that okay, so sometimes you have to listen to music. Like I like to listen to music when I work out.
Yeah.
But sometimes if I'm trying to go to sleep, I'll listen to a podcast.
Like a boring podcast or like a good podcast?
No, like an interesting podcast.
Oh, so you're just something to kind of relax and just kind of get, yeah. Okay, so it's just kind of, like I said, depending on how you're feeling, where you're at.
On how you're feeling.
Because I'm a music guy. I'm all about music. Like I do like podcasts and I do listen to them quite a bit, but when music, shoot, I just.
Yeah.
I could have music playing 24/7 in my life and I would be okay. Yeah.
It gets you out of a bad mood.
Whenever this place used to be a music venue.
Oh, really?
And right straight down there was a stage, right where those doors are at.
Yeah.
And I was the manager of this music venue here. And so this place has kind of been like my home with the music. And music is kind of my big life because my daughter's named Bowie after David Bowie.
Yeah.
Daughter's name's Prudence after Dear Prudence. My son's name Emerson after the Emerson guitar. So yeah, we're music. So you can, you don't have to say podcast because we're on a podcast. So would you say you're like an early bird or a snooze button? Like you up or do you hit that snooze button a few times?
Okay. Well, did you know that you sleep in 45-minute cycles?
I've heard something like that.
Yes.
But
so if I wake up in that right time, I'm up immediately. Yeah. But if I don't, then it takes me a hot second to get up.
It takes you a hot second to get up.
It takes me a hot second.
If something disturbs that 45 minutes in that middle of there, you're like, maybe that's my problem these days. I'm just waking up in that middle of that 45 minutes. I just need to be like, leave me alone for another 15.
Yeah.
Because now that I'm getting older and I'm like, man, I just don't want to used to get up early. Yeah. I'd be up like 4:30, 5 o'clock. Getting rolling, it's kind of me time. Yeah. Now it's like I'm up to the last second I have to get up. I'm like, okay, it's 7:00. I got to get up and get the kids ready for school because I got to be at school in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Awesome. So, what is your favorite vacation destination?
Oh gosh. Like I said, I'm a beach person, but I'm also a city person. So, New York.
New York?
Yes.
See, I went to New York a few years ago, and that was not like, because like I said, I don't like a whole lot of people, too much stuff. It was never kind of my first choice, like, I want to go see New York City. But I went, I was actually on a game show, and so I got flown out there, and it was insane. It was so cool. Like, and I only saw such a small bit of it because one whole day I was in a green room stuck. You couldn't have no phone, no nothing. But the driving around there was insane. Those drivers were like, whoo, whoo, and I was back there going, oh my God. It's like, what are you doing?
Like, how do you guys make it through
people like step right off in front of them and they just swerve right around them. I'm like, what in the world? And this was right before the pandemic hit. It was literally like, it was the January and we went to Times Square and it was just insane.
Yeah.
Like it was, I think it was about 11:00 at night and it looked like daylight. It was so bright.
Yeah.
And I saw the most sketchiest looking Elmo I've ever seen in my life. But like, it was super cool. There were so many different people. And me, being from Oklahoma, I was trying to like, everybody was like, hey, how are you? You know, and I'm like, oh yeah, what's up? You know? And I was there. So the woman that I went against on the game show, Pat, she's from Queens. So she's a New Yorker. So she was like, no, come on, we don't have time for this. She just kept like pulling me along. And I'm like, I'm not used to this. I'm supposed to talk to everybody. But New York's really cool. When did you go to New York? A few times?
I've gone once before. Yes. Yeah, and I loved it.
So you're like,
I wanted to, like I said, like I loved musical theater and I also loved fashion. So at the time that I went to New York, I loved fashion design. And so I wanted to go to school in New York for fashion design. And then I wanted to go to school in New York for musical theater. But here we are back in Oklahoma.
Hey, Oklahoma is still good. There's a lot of big people that are in music and entertainment that go from Oklahoma.
Exactly. So, I'm like, oh, I can get there at some point. I'll be there at some point.
You got it, And I mean, you're going to OU, so you can't go wrong with that. Awesome. So if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Invisibility.
No one's ever said that one to me. I like that. I never thought about that. That could come in handy.
Yeah, like snap it in and snap it off. You know?
That could come in.
Like pop in on people's conversations.
Listen to see what they're saying. I like that. It's kind of sneaky though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that. All right. This is the last question. I've asked it on every episode now. This is episode 9. And nobody knows. Like they don't have an answer for it because they never watched this show. So we're going to see. You're younger, so I'm hoping maybe I caught some reruns or something because I'm really realizing that people don't watch this show. As much as I thought they did, because whatever. So here but I said I'm going to keep asking it until somebody knows it. So I'm going to try it again. Here we go. On Friends, were Ross and Rachel on a break?
Were they on a break?
Yeah. You don't know, do you? Have you watched Friends?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
But yes. Yes.
Yes. Finally, somebody got it. And she got the right answer. They were on a break. All right. See, I thought that would be a fun question. I asked people, they're like, oh, I've never watched Friends. I'm like, you've never watched Friends?
No,
what are you talking about? I didn't watch it till I was older, till I got married, and my wife's like, you've never watched Friends. And I was like, no. And she's like, oh, you got to watch it. And so we watch it, and now I've watched the whole series probably like 6 times. So So I was like, I've got to throw that question. And everybody's like, no, I never watched it. I did Coach Hurt, who's the athletic director and football coach over here at Claremore High School. He's like, my kids are going to hit me. He said, my daughters and my wife, they watch it religiously. They love that show, but I don't know. And I was like, you still don't know? And he's like, no. So that is awesome that somebody finally knew it. Finally got it. She's like, I had to think about it for a second because I mean, that's kind of it. If you watch the show, that question plays out over and over and over again. They're always like, we were on a break. So awesome. So guys, that was train track crossing. Those are little fun questions to kind of get through, kind of get to know a little bit about you. It's supposed to be like a speed round, but I never make it a speed round. I get detoured. We start talking about it. And you say something like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, let's go. Let's talk about that a little bit." Yeah. So awesome. Well, thanks for that. Alrighty. So let's go back into that. In what ways do you kind of hope to like positively impact your community and not only with the Miss Claremore title, but moving on forward and going like you said, you're volunteering and things like that. Is that like something that you really want to push and continue with, or is there what other kind of positive impact would you like to have on those on these communities? Because you said like they all have different, you guys all have different things that kind of go around, and you didn't realize all over Oklahoma.
Yes.
So you have all that going on there. So what other kind of positive impacts are you kind of wanting to bring? I know it's kind of a hard question, but
I just want communities to learn to work together, because there's so many times, when
good answer.
when we're so focused on ourselves and our small little bubbles that we forget that there are more people out there and there's a bigger community out there. And so if communities can learn to work together and like create this little like spider web together to connect all of our things that we do, I think that it can make such a big impact in their communities and the communities close to them.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm right there with you. I think that even if a business is similar to another business, they can all work together for the benefit of what's going on in our community. Because if we not one person can do everything. It's just impossible to do. But if we have a community that's built together, that's strong, that knows, that sometimes it's going to be a little bit hard work. I might have to do a little bit more. I might have to do a little bit less. And sometimes that's harder too. You still let somebody do a little bit more than you do. But if they can all work together, like it can be a huge change. And I feel like there's too much negativity around the community, like smaller communities, even that, they're a pest control company, I'm a pest control company, or they're a coffee shop, I'm a coffee shop. So we have to kind of compete. But if you if you really work together and we're all friends, it can really, like you said, build that web that's strong. And like, I know that I've seen Claremore kind of up and down with with businesses coming and going, and we get these big old spurts. And I really think we're about to come into a big uplifting. There's a lot coming to Claremore. I mean, Oklahoma, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot that's going to be going on here. I tell people we've got a big amusement park coming up down the road. Like it's 45 minutes from us here. So we're going to have a lot of new people that we didn't see before. So like I said, working together, if we can start doing that now before we have that huge influx, it'll be ready. And ready to roll and ready to build that and do something great. Because that's the whole point. If we can be prepared, then it's going to only be bigger. And people will look at these communities and go, man, we want to do what they're doing. What are you guys doing? Like that's awesome. Because I think that it can happen in a world that's all negative and things like that. If we all start to talk and get to know each other and things, that's kind of why I wanted to do a podcast. Was a lot of the times we do hear just negative things about people or what they're doing, and you don't really know the backstory of what's going on. You don't realize how much time they're putting into it. You don't realize how much of their life or their heart that they do. And sometimes they're not even getting paid to do this. And then we just dog it and you don't really understand. And so I'm like, I was kind of one of those people. I started getting negative and not, I kind of got out of the community and I was like, man, I really, especially after the pandemic, we all really got comfortable being home. And I was like, I need to get back out there because I don't know what's going on. And I'm upset because I'm like, well, why aren't they doing this? Or why isn't this happening? Why are the roads getting fixed? Things like that. And once I get out there and start talking to people, I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. I never even thought about that. It's, that's why they're in that position and I'm not. But, they're, a lot of those things are, it's something that there's a reason behind it. And so if we all just work together and understand those things, that one, we're not all perfect per people. That's going to happen. And two, we can do things, but sometimes it takes time and there's steps to it. And we realize what those steps are, makes things easier. You kind of understand that. So, we're coming up close to the end here. So we're going to be out here you're going to be over here on May 4th.
Yes.
What kind of things are we going to do? Like, what kind of stuff like you said, it's tea party, but what other stuff? Like,
yes,
girls get to take pictures.
We're going to do a few crafts. We're going to take some cute little pictures. I know that the decorations are going to be amazing. So we're going to get some really good pictures.
Susan's got tons of stuff here too.
Yes.
So like you walk back there and it's just, it's like an explosion of decorations.
Yes. Yeah. But then I also want to kind of incorporate what I do when I go in to talk to schools about pulling their passions into volunteering, talking to all of the girls about what they love to do and what they're passionate about, and helping them find ways to help people around them with those passions as well.
So it's not just coming in sipping on some.
Yeah, no, we're gonna do a little bit more.
Yeah,
yeah.
So it's gonna be fun. So
yes.
What are some like? How can people kind of get signed up for that? Is there going to be a sign up sheet kind of basically thing? Perfect. Awesome. We'll have an Eventbrite for it. So awesome. So we can go to that Eventbrite. They can get signed up through there and do all that. Like I said, I'll get the link from you. Perfect. Guys, Mom is in the background. She's been here the whole time. She's Mommy Germ.
Yeah.
Mommy, I've never heard. Momager over here. We got the Momager over here. She's back here. So yeah, we'll get that link so they can go there, sign up, do that, come out and have fun with it.
Yes.
You know, Leah, is there something else? Is there anything else you kind of want to tell the community before we get off here, or you think you kind of got it?
I guess I just want to say, like, it's been amazing. I've had an amazing year as Miss Claremore so far. I've met wonderful people, and I know that I haven't even met a lot of the people from the community. So I hope that people can come to the tea party so that I can hear more about your stories and hear more about what they do in the community. So
come out, check it out. Yes. It'll be a lot of fun. When is Miss Oklahoma?
Miss Oklahoma is the first week of June.
First, so that's coming up pretty quick too.
Yeah.
Whew. So you are busy.
Yeah.
Gosh. I mean, literally right after graduating high school.
Yes.
And then you'll be doing things and going right back. And so you're going to college next year.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So well, not next year, but this year.
Yes.
Next year kind of thing. That's great. You're a different type of person. I keep moving. I love that. That's you got to be that kind of person with what you're doing. Yeah. Because I mean, you go on from Miss Oklahoma, you're going to have a lot more to go on doing. Then
exactly.
I mean, going on. Wow. Yeah. I'll tell you, you are a great role model. I'll say that. Like, that is something that I can say. I mean, talking to you and getting to know you, just sitting here with you, I can see that. I can see the passion in your face. I see that when I talk to these people like on the podcast, that they really like what they're doing. They love what they're doing. They have that, and you can hear it in their voice. Mm-hmm. And I can definitely tell that you do have a passion for this. And, you know, not only just for that, but with the younger girls and coming up and doing those things. I mean, you guys went and did you guys were judges for a small little, I mean, there was like not that many kids, but you guys took time to go over there and judge that and do that stuff. So that's awesome. You're awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I can't wait for the 4th. My girls are going to have a ball.
Yes.
I know you're busy, and I really do appreciate you giving me the time to come over here and sit down and talk with me and kind of get to know you, because I think it's great. I want people to see Miss Claremore and get to know you too, because like I said, I was on that back end. I didn't know pageants and things like that. And I didn't even really know the backstory of, like, you even taught me some more today. Like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So I do appreciate that too. And kind of makes me a little more excited about it too. You know, not only that, hey, maybe I don't have to pay for college, but also, you know,
that's a plus.
All the other positives that come along with it. So I really do appreciate it. And I really do appreciate your time. And guys, root her on. Go out. If you guys are around Tulsa, you guys want to watch the pageant, go see her. Go root her on out there. Because, I mean, you can still cheer. I mean, I was always, you cheer. Oh, let's go.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, cheer her on, go over there and watch her do that. Again, thank you, Mom.
Yes.
Momager over here. I appreciate you guys so much for letting me do this and coming on here. You're the youngest podcast guest so far.
Wow.
You're actually the first one that's younger than me.
Wow.
So it's weird. That makes me a little bit nervous because I'm like way out of the loop. I have friends that are like in their 20s, early 20s, 22, and they're like, they'll say things. I'm like, I don't even, what? I don't know what that means. He's like, you don't know what that means? I'm like, no, man. Like, I'm still in the, what's up? Kind of this age in the, we used to do like nectar and sweet, that was back when I was a kid. Now you say it and you sound like a goober. So I get nervous when I get around the young ones because I don't want to sound like an old man. And even though I am like middle-aged, like I just realized this, that I'm like middle-aged and I don't know how I got here. You know what I'm talking about, Mom.
You are.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Me and my friend were talking about it the other day. I said, when did we become middle aged? I went to the gas station. I said, "You need my ID?" And he said, "Now you look older." And I was like, "I look older?" He goes, "Well, you're like not old, but like you look older than me." And I was like, "Well, how old are you?" He's like, 21. And I was like, "You're a baby. You're a pup. No wonder you look older. I look older than you." Yeah, but I do appreciate it so much. It's been a lot of fun. Yes. So, guys. Come out May 4th.
Yes.
You'll be able to, I'll have the link, so it'll be up on our pages. You guys can see all that. Click on it, get signed up. Again, thank you so much. And this has been another episode of Never Met a Stranger I Didn't Like.